Hey, shout out to my man Tucker challenging on Piers on freedom of speech. Let's get into it.
The British system was imported around the world on the basis of one concept: fairness. That comes from the Magna Carta.
I think a lot of...
Has this become a fairer society? It's become completely unfair. You put fucking Julian Assange in prison for years without charges. Because the CIA told you to.
We have had a massive rising issue with the suppression of free speech.
Which is a fairness issue.
But that has nothing to do with ethnicity or
culture.
Oh,
really? So what does it have to do with, do you think?
It has to do with a very ridiculously draconian view of what free speech is.
But where does that come from? You've never had that.
From governments.
No, but, of course. But those are attitudes that grow from the population, or else you would have a revolution. This is the country that invented free speech.
That's where you're wrong. The population does not want this suppression of free speech.
They may not, but they keep voting for the fascists every time, whether it's Boris, whether it's Boris or whether it's Boris.
No.
He's a buffoon. It doesn't mean he's not an authoritarian.
He wants, it's funny you mentioned the word buffoon. So I once...
Well, I mean, that's axiomatic.
I'm going to tell you
doesn't know how many children he has?
I'm going to tell you why. No, because I once interviewed him for GQ. And I said, Boris, this is 2008-9. I said, Boris, I've always thought that lurking beneath the buffoon exterior lies a sharp, calculating political mind that wants to be prime minister. He wasn't even a sort of politician at the time. He looked at me and he said, well, Piers, you must consider the possibility that lurking beneath the buffoon exterior is an actual buffoon.
True.
So he was right.
No, he was totally...
I can't say we weren't warned.
But the point is, look, it's not...
Oh, God, let's get more people in on the conversation. By double tapping that screen. If you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be able to read it out loud and engage with it. Just $2 and up, and we are about $70 away from opening up the call-in line. I appreciate the support, guys, and don't worry, you get Conspiracy Hour for free. Don't worry, I got you on that one.
He's not a fascist, though, Boris Johnson.
He's an authoritarian.
But it diminishes the word fascist when you say that about people. I get annoyed.
Well, what is fascism, actually? I mean, we, meaning the collective West, meaning the Allies, meaning Roosevelt and Churchill, meaning America and its cousins in the UK, were fighting against an authoritarian system. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just about race hate. It was about full control of a population. We were arguing against that and fighting against it. Of course, we were also funding it when we sent money to Stalin, but whatever. It was never fully consistent. But that's what we tell ourselves. And now that's what you have.
I mean, questionable moments in U.S. history. We got a lot of those.
There were 3 times as many people arrested in the UK last year for speech crimes as were arrested in Putin's Russia, and you have half the population. So this is much more authoritarian than Putin's Russia.
No, it's not.
What? How is it? How is it not?
That's ridiculous.
If you have 3 times as many arrests for speech crimes, it's more authoritarian.
I've not seen that stat.
Really?
If that is true, it's because we have been so appalling in protecting free speech.
Well, you're appalling. I'm not. Right. No debate there. But I'm just saying, as a
nah, that is wild though. If you're trying to say that, bro, people are getting arrested less for speech crimes in Russia. And let's be real, you say anything crazy about Putin, I mean, that's your ass, most likely, more than likely. So the fact that you can't even the fact that more people are getting arrested for speech in Europe, it goes to show you, well, not Europe, but the UK, yeah, it goes to show you how not free these guys are. Let's be honest. I mean, a guy got arrested for saying, oh, if a trans woman step into the room, kick her in the nuts, him in the nuts. And he got arrested for that. People getting arrested for a Facebook post. UK is no longer free.
How do you define authoritarian?
The idea that we are living here in a more authoritarian state than Russia.
Come on. Those are the numbers.
You don't believe that.
Look, I believe in science.
I ain't
gonna. I'm gonna have to look that up my damn self. Really? I'm looking it up, guys. I got you. Because
believe in science.
You think England is more authoritarian than Russia?
I think you're more likely to be arrested for a speech crime in Great Britain. Indeed, 3 times as likely.
What would happen if you criticized the government? If you went on the airwaves here tonight?
I'm an American. They're not going to mess with me.
No. But if you went on the airwaves here tonight and you start abusing and hammering and mocking and criticizing our prime minister, which, by the way, many people are doing.
I'll give you.
Let me finish my question. If you did that, what would happen to you?
Nothing.
Exactly.
But what if I said I thought gay sex was disgusting and should be illegal?
And if you went,
hold on.
Nah, for real though. No, that's the actual truth. Like if he said that gay sex is disgusting, he thinks it should be illegal, and he drops the F word at the end of it, bro, that's an arrest in UK. You're screwed. But if you say that in America, I mean, you just get some condemning comments, as you should. Yeah.
That's nothing, Prime Minister. How about I'm opposed to sodomy? How's that?
I haven't finished my question. And if you went to Moscow and you went on the airwaves and you did that about Putin, what would happen?
You'd be in trouble.
Right. So there's a difference.
No, because
that's an authoritarian state.
No, that's a straightforward.
This one is not.
That's a straightforward.
This is a flawed democracy.
No, this is global.
No, he's kind of right. That's a straightforward. Everybody knows. You talk about Putin, you're done. But not everybody in the UK really understands that, yo, if you say certain things online and you don't really give the parameters for that, you're done. I mean, well, they don't give the parameters. They don't really tell people what's going too far and what's within, like, what's within safety. And who's them and who are they to even tell people that? Maybe that's just me as an American. I just can't fathom somebody telling me that. But that's what they're dealing with. Somebody telling them, yo, you guys got to watch what you post or you will be arrested. And at least in Russia, they tell you that directly. In the UK, they don't even let you know, like, what really you can say, what you can't say. Did they just say, look, just be cautious? At that point, you might as well delete your social media account just to be safe.
Homo.
That is
this is no. This
global
is
global homo.
It is. It's global homo. This is.
What do you mean?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. This is a concept that you need to understand. This is.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. This is the authoritarianism of the present and future. And it's not, it's the feline, passive aggressive female version that doesn't tell you what it is. They don't march into your town in jack boots and put a rifle against your face and tell you to obey. For sure. It's much more straightforward.
And they kill you.
It's
and you fall off a building suddenly.
Oh, you kill tons of people. You kill tons of people.
I don't disagree.
Oh, yeah, you do a lot. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So let's stop with the killing people because you kill tons of people. But as you well know.
Yeah, but at least people know that. And if, hey, man, if you disagree with people in Russia or you disagree with Putin in Russia, I mean, look, man, if you're disagreeing with Putin, don't be chilling next to a window because, I mean, you might be going out that window. That's just a common thing they know in Russia. When you talk to Putin or you disagree with him, you give him bad news, you don't do it near a window.
Because you know the people who do it, and I do too. No, I'm saying there's something more offensive about an authoritarianism that will not admit what it is. So instead, people are arrested here and thrown into jail. And I've been to Belmarsh Prison. It's awful.
I've been there.
It's awful.
It is.
But you walk in and there are all these signs about Trans Acceptance Week. It is fascism wrapped in the Human Rights Campaign rainbow logo. It's not any different from what we were fighting against.
Well,
it's arresting you for saying something they don't want.
I certainly believe, and this has been my big criticism of the woke left. I wrote this book called Woke is Dead, which is more an aspiration than a reality at the moment. But the point I was making was that the woke left became, in the end, like the very fascists they profess to hate most. They literally behaved like fascists. Yeah. Anyone that deviated from their worldview.
I don't want you to devalue the term.
No, I'm not. I'm explaining the hypocrisy of the left.
No, I get it.
Which I think we could probably agree with is if you start to behave like the very people you claim you hate most, you are a brazen hypocrite.
It's not just the left; it's the right.
Well, the right's doing
unfortunately,
it as well. I agree. Some of the right's doing it as well. I agree. Hypocrisy is hypocrisy, isn't it? Wherever you see it. And I do think that the way I would categorize what's happened here is successive governments, right and left, have pandered to a weird sentiment driven by very vocal but small numbers of people that we have to start getting into the suppressing free speech business. And it's been a catastrophic failure, which has diminished this country.
But why?
I mean, yeah, it's worse than us. I mean, shoot, you're right. The trans community has been able to get laws passed to where, well, kids can hide their affirming care from their parents. And that's in America. But thank God we're not to that point where people say, oh, you just can't say nothing about the trans community whatsoever. You can't bring out no bad articles about them. You can't tell them the truth. You can't misgender them without going to jail. At least we're not there. Thank God.
Beginning to see is the coming out of that. And I'll give an example. When Graham Linehan, the comedian, the father Ted genius, right? And he decided to take on this whole trans issue head on. And a bit like J.K. Rowling, he got shamed, vilified, cancelled. He lost everything. He lost his family. He lost his jobs. He lost everything. Became unemployable. Completely cancelled. And he did some jokes on X back in April. And they were just like harmless, right? He talked about a trans woman coming into a woman's space.
Harmless to you as a non-trans person, but genocidal to the trans community.
Which again is ridiculous. So he did it.
Okay, so this is where it's coming from. So in short answer, we don't actually know, but there's no solid evidence that the UK has more speech crime arrests than Russia. And the comparison that's gone viral online is based on cherry-picked and non-comparable numbers. So where the UK versus Russia claim comes from. A lot of people are citing a meme that says something like about 33,000 people arrested in the UK for social media posts versus only 400 in Russia. Fact checkers tracked this back to a 2019/2017 stat combo and found it misleading. The 3,300 UK number came from a UK FOI story about people detained and questioned over social media trolling in 1 year. The 400 Russian number came from 2017, reported by the Russian NGO Agora, that counted 411 criminal cases against internet users that year. Criminal cases, not arrest, and only one narrow slice of Europe's repression. So yeah, pretty much the classification of what was considered a speech crime or with the classification what was considered a speech crime is completely different between the two. What they considered a speech crime in the UK was different on how they was classifying it in Russia. And then of course UK, they were talking about, I guess, actual arrests. And then in Russia, they were just talking about, well, the cases and not arrests.
Joke about a trans woman coming into a woman's space, and they said, what you should do is kick him in the balls, right? It was a joke. It was an ear-knuckle joke. If you're oversensitive, you go, ooh. Most people just laughed and took it for what it was. It's that kind of joke that wouldn't even be considered remotely controversial 10 years ago. When he arrived at Heathrow Airport several months later, he was arrested by 5 armed police officers and taken off to the cells. And I just found that utterly shocking. So I'm not pretending there's not been a massive problem about free speech. But what was interesting and encouraging was the public backlash. Hence my book title, Woke is Dead. The public backlash was so ferocious that within a week, the police said, we're not going to prosecute Linehan. And actually, they said further, we're never going to prosecute anyone for this kind of thing again. That was a moment when I went, we're finally getting a bit of sanity back.
So the trans thing is absurd. It's so absurd that it's easy for people to say that's absurd. What's actually happening here, as I think you know, is a society is being changed by its leaders against the will of the population. The population hates it. They've always hated it. No population wants radical demographic change. None. And so it's been so profound since 1997 under Tony Blair that you're not allowed to note that your country is being taken from you. Okay? So you can criticize trannies all you want. You cannot criticize Israel, as you know. You're not allowed to criticize demographic change, and you can't criticize the rest of the fabled LGBT community. And if you don't believe me, listen to this story, which is it's unbelievable. This is from the Daily Mail, which is kind of a ridiculous publication, but I
love the Daily Mail.
I do too. There's a lot about it I like, but I mean, it's absurd. But anyway, Elizabeth Hinney from Tranmere. Have you read about this?
Go on.
She's a mother of 4. I think she's a nurse, and she gets beaten up by her boyfriend. He beats her up. She goes to the hospital, and she texts someone, a buddy of hers, a friend of hers, a girlfriend of hers, and describes the man who beat her up and sent her to the hospital as a, quote, faggot. It's a faggot. And I mean, she's arrested.
She ain't wrong, though. She ain't wrong. Bro definitely was. For beating a woman, he definitely is.
And convicted of a hate crime. The guy who beat her up is not arrested or convicted.
Why?
And then she goes through this whole kabuki, which is now required, where she prostrates herself before the judge. I'm sorry, it was not a homophobic rant. By the way, you're allowed to be homophobic if you want in a free country. You can have any view you want. But no, because she used the word faggot, she's arrested, and the guy who punched her in the face was not. That story tells you everything.
Well, I don't know that story. If it's exactly
Daily Mail, baby.
Okay.
Pictures of her and everything.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I need to look into it. But if that is how you've told it, obviously it's ridiculous.
Would you say the word faggot on camera?
No.
Why?
Because
you don't want to get arrested, do you?
Doesn't want to be arrested.
I mean, shoot, I'll say the word. I don't like saying the word so much, but I mean, F it. I'd say faggot. It is what it is. But I'm not saying it in a derogatory way towards gay people. If I'm using the word faggot, it's usually, I haven't used that word in a derogatory way since I was a kid. But if I am going to use the word faggot, it's usually I'm going to use it in the South Park way to talk about somebody I don't like, or maybe it's a gay person that I'm not too fond of. But I don't really know a gay person that I'm not too fond of, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, because it's so harmful to people?
No.
Is it like gay bashing? What's wrong with that?
No, actually, my whole issue with the whole trans debate, for example, is you don't need to slide into actually saying derogatory stuff about trans people to make the point that women's rights should be protected. You don't need to
Oh no, Tori, I actually did hear about that. The lady that was arrested for praying in front of an abortion clinic. That was that in the UK? Because I think they was talking about that on here as well. Sounds like something they do in the UK.
Well, I agree.
So what? I don't believe.
No, but it's a magic word.
I don't believe in needlessly, smearing.
Well, I'm not smearing anybody. I just think.
But what would you use that word?
Faggot?
Yeah,
I just did.
Yeah, but would you
faggot?
Okay, but why?
And I'm using it because you're not allowed to. Because you're
allowed to.
Go ahead.
Bro, it's always funny. You just said it like that. Oh shit! Oh, bro, shout out to Tucker, bro. Tucker, bro, you the GOAT, bro. You the GOAT for that one. Oh, shout out Tucker Carlson for that one. Do it again, brother. Do it again.
Just think.
But what would you use that word?
Faggot?
Yeah,
I just did.
Yeah, but would you
faggot?
Okay, but why?
And I'm using it because you're not allowed to. Because you're
allowed to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Say I love gay people. Faggot.
I'm allowed to. I just choose not to.
This chick just got arrested for it and convicted.
Right.
So that doesn't have a chilling effect on your ability to.
There are people watching this who will be offended by the use of the word.
I'm sure they will. I'm not
No,
anti-gay. I never have been. I can use any freaking word I want.
Offended by the use of the word chick.
Chick. Okay, whatever.
Dare you be so sexist comparing women to chicks?
How about this? Let my life, the way that I actually live and treat people, be the testament to my heart. That's how I feel.
Right.
And if I've mistreated someone,
I don't
that
think
is a sin.
I don't believe. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe you would call a gay person a faggot to their face.
Not in a mean way.
Right.
By the way, the only people I ever hear use the word faggot are gay.
Right.
Ever. Just like the only people you ever hear that use the N-word are black.
Right.
Yeah, true. I mean, and you know how women are basically call themselves bitches. That's the only time you really, I mean, they call themselves bitches the most. Hey, man, we claim the most derogatory words for our group for some strange reason. It is what it is.
Period.
Right.
So if you spend any time around gays, and I have spent a lot of time around gays, who, of course, I work in television. I mean, half our staff was gay, and they're great people. And they're the only ones who ever said, faggot, he's a faggot. I'd be like, ah. I have no need to say the word. Actually, it's kind of an ugly word, to be totally honest.
You know the argument they use, which is...
Well, they don't use it. They use the word constantly. I've worked with them my whole life.
Well, I wrote a column, for example, about the use of...
But I'm not allowed to use it, but you are? I don't play those games, dude.
Listen, I'm going to make a point. I wrote a column for the Mail, actually, about the use of the N-word, and the Washington Post did a huge report on this and said that every day on Twitter, as it was then, the N-word was used 500,000 times, but almost exclusively by young African-American men.
So it's cool.
Well, they would argue, and I understood the argument.
Yeah.
They've reclaimed that word.
I don't believe in universal rights either. I think certain standards should apply to certain people based on their blood, but don't apply to everybody.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's what you're saying, dude. The standards have to be absolute, or they're not standard.
I was about to make my argument that I made in the column.
Sorry, you're getting me so wound up.
No, but I actually made the point in the column that I don't...
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. You kind of just exposed that. Yeah, Piers, you might be a little bit afraid to drop that F word, man. I'm gonna be real with you. You might be afraid to say faggot. I mean, you might get arrested for it. A lady got arrested for it in a text message by just describing her male abuser. So, I mean, bro, if you can get arrested for that, shit. I mean, then yeah, you could probably get Piers. You could probably get arrested just for using it like Tucker Carlson. To be quite honest. I mean, bro, if you can't even use it in that way to, like I say, talk about somebody you're not too favorable of, then, bro, you're kind of cooked. You're cooked. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the next video, and man, let's see if we can get the support up. Let's see if we can at least get to 50. So we're about $20 away, and after that, then we can go ahead and head into conspiracy video. But first, though, let's start too. Why don't people want mass immigration? Let's get right into it.
Be sure to subscribe and let's dive right into this video.
And there's so many different aspects to immigration that...
Oh, and shout out this kid. He was on Tucker Carlson. This is Nikki Haley's son. Yes, this is Nikki Haley's son. And like Loki, he was spitting facts on Tucker Carlson. And he was Loki speaking up for the younger generation. And he was right. A lot of things he was talking about was right. I'll probably react to it probably tomorrow. Because what he was saying was pretty important. But let's get into it.
Be sure to subscribe and let's dive